Let's have a look at this article about how smartphones hijack the brain. So, have a look at something in this article that relates to some other videos. Anna Lembke. So, she narrates another video that I'm going to share with you guys. It's on my page. I'll put the link in the description. She's a Stanford addiction medicine dual diagnosis clinic chief. And she has a lot of interesting things to say about this. So, how smartphones hijack the brain. So, smartphones hijack the brain through the dopamine pleasure pathway, and they create an addiction. They create an unhealthy addiction, and they use lots of things like the way that casinos use certain things to trick us to go into casinos. Smartphones use these same types of tricks. There is another product in our society that uses these types of tricks to create an unhealthy addiction, and that product is dogs. Dog culture promotes the same type of habits that smartphones promote. So let's have a look at the article. So, each year, young adults spend more and more time on their smartphones. Well, they also spend more and more time playing around with dogs. So it says it becomes kind of an appendage. Yeah, dogs become like an appendage for people. They cannot do anything without their dogs. Now they suspect COVID-19 has something to do with this. Well, just like with dog culture as well, we ordered and bought and adopted a whole bunch of dogs for our homes. Many of those dogs had to end up being abandoned, and they also attacked and caused facial surgery requirements for little kids. So, addictive by design. Well, enjoyable activities, they switch on the reward pathway. The reward pathway right here, flooding the brain with the feel-good chemical messenger dopamine. Any dopamine producing activity can lead to behavior addiction when a person feels compelled to engage in a behavior to the point that it hurts their health, work, or relationships. Yes, dog ownership hurts all of those things. People will worry about their food choices less than the food choices of their dogs. I did a video about Texas people where they were surveyed, and they were more concerned about nutrition for their dog than the nutrition of themselves or their children. And all of this stuff, a person feels compelled to engage in behavior to the point it hurts their health, work, or relationships. Yes, dog owners do that all the time. Oh, dogs are better. Oh, I don't care about humans. I'll just get a dog. And it's an addictive behavior. Smartphone use falls into that category. Texting friends, swiping, dating profiles, checking mail can all be engaging enough that they keep bringing users back for more. That's the hallmark of an addictive drug, Lembke says, and it intrinsically draws people in. Dog culture does this too, because every time they post up something about their dog or look up a dog thing, they're waiting for a like, they're waiting for a response, and it draws them in. Facebook, YouTube, they all leverage your attention to sell ads and otherwise attract funding. It's not happening by accident, but by design, said Tristan Harris, a former Google ethic who co-founded the Center for Humane Technology. The business model is to keep people engaged. Yes, the business model of dogs is to keep people engaged. Once you go get a dog, you constantly have to post up on Facebook and Instagram, every group that you're in on Facebook. If it's about motorcycles, hammock camping, sewing, anything, dog owners have to constantly put up, oh, look, I went and did this, and I took a picture of my dog while I did it, yet it has nothing to do with the ownership of a dog. It's constantly set up to keep you engaged and you needing more and more of the attention and accolades that comes along with dog ownership. To attract and hold attention, one of the strategies is to remove cues that might wake a user from their reverie. So dog culture does this as well. What do we remove? We remove our fellow humans. People with dogs are like, oh, I don't need no humans. I don't need a friend. Dogs are better. I trust dogs better. Dogs are better than humans. On and on and on and on. So more and more humans are removed from the lives of dog owners unless that human toes the line and plays butt kissy games towards that person's individual dog. But at the end of the day, when you don't have humans in your life, you more and more gravitate towards dogs. So see what it says here. Where casinos lack clocks or windows, social feeds lack bottoms. If I take the bottom out of a glass, Harris says, you do not know when to stop drinking. This is the same thing with dog culture. People that get dogs, it's like, well, you need to adopt another dog. You need to get more dogs. So many people that have dogs, they don't go out in society and say, hey, this is enough. This dog I have, oh man, I got some expenses and some problems with this dog. I still want to keep it, but it's bit me a couple times, and the expenses and the vet expenses and the piss on the carpet. You don't hear dog owners saying that. Instead, it's all about more, 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 more. Don't know when to stop drinking. Yeah, dog owners don't know when to just stop. It's like, just get one dog, you're fine. There's the pull to refresh feature, which may or may not reward the user with new email messages. Yes, it may or may not reward the user. So it's the same thing with dog owners. We blame the cell phone, right? But what are we doing with the cell phones? Dog owners are constantly putting up pictures of their dog, and then it's like, well, I got to know if somebody liked my post. I walked to the mailbox and took 2 pictures of my cane corso. Ha ha ha. He pulled me down and I broke my nose. Or some other problem happened, and they're waiting. They're waiting for this like reward. Oh, did somebody like it, or did somebody comment? The pull to refresh thing. That's part of dog culture too. It's the same thing when people have a dog that has problems. It barks too much. Pull to refresh. Oh, you just need more training. Oh, you just need more of this. You can get a dopamine hit with your troublesome dog if you just pull to refresh. Go get more training. Buy some more stuff on Amazon and feel good about yourself. Buy some more doggy blankets. It's the same type. It's the same type of trickery with the product of the dog, and it's anticipation. So anticipating, like, oh, what's going to happen with my dog? Gosh, I don't know. The anticipation of the reward is more enjoyable than receiving the reward. So people are running around worrying about their dogs, like, oh, is he going to be okay when I get home? Is the couch going to be chewed up? Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? Uh-oh. That's the same type of mentality with dog culture. So similarities extend to appearance, like casinos, home screens, and bright, colorful. The physiology arousing of the primary colors abounds thanks to omnipresent notification badges. Yeah, omnipresent notification badges. Now see, that's like people with dogs too. They have to constantly be like, what you doing, doggy? What do you need, doggy? Are you okay? Are you alright? They have to constantly get kisses, cuddles, doggy kisses, puppy kisses. They have to constantly get the notification badge. Look at me, I have a pupper because he came over and did this with me, and I cuddled with him, and I took him here, and I took him there. Okay, so now we're getting up on something really important. So attention deficits. Okay, so it says here there are really good reasons to disengage. Okay, so the heaviest users had more trouble focusing than non-users, scoring roughly 5 to 10% higher on tests of attention deficit disorder. Okay, get ready for the kicker. I've mentioned this before. They also had diminished activity in the right prefrontal cortex, an area of the brain that regulates attention and self-control. Structural changes in this area have been linked to attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So I've mentioned this in my previous videos. Dog owners, more and more in this modern dog worshipping society, they're having their prefrontal cortex atrophied because they don't frickin' use it, guys. People, you gotta really look at this. The head forward posture, the constant non-use of the prefrontal cortex, the constant dopamine hits that these dog owners get from their dogs. You can blame cell phones, but what are they doing on their cell phones? They're doing dog stuff, looking at dog videos, taking videos of their dog, taking pictures of their dog, taking videos of their dog knocking their kids over, smashing their kids' heads into the frickin' floor. The frickin' asshole dog owners. So the prefrontal cortex, dog ownership, many different pathways hammer the prefrontal cortex. And that's why these dog owners seem stupid. That's why they seem like totally not capable to engage in any type of empathy or understanding of your argument about the detriment of dogs. So experts say that you need to like dopamine detox. You need to turn some of these things off and just get away from it. But when you own a dog, you can't do that. You have to constantly be worrying about the dog. Is he sick? Are his meds up to date? Are his worming shots up to date? Constantly needing that dopamine hit from your dog all the time. So they recommend a period of total abstinence. You can't do that with a dog. You cannot escape that unless you go pay somebody to take care of your dog for a month. No, it's never going to happen. Dopamine hits. Regular dopamine hits. That's what this is all about. It's the same thing with dog culture. So here's one of the things they say to do. Disabling notifications. Well, that's like dog culture too. That's like, okay, my dog is a pain in the ass. He's been biting, running, jumping on the back of the couch, barking at the mailman. I'm going to spend a bunch of money. I'm going to go on Amazon. I'm going to go on the petco.com, buy a bunch of stuff for him, get him more training, and then my life will be a little bit less stressful because my dog will be under control. That's kind of like disabling notifications with your phone. However, in the long run, just like they say here, the gains are minimal or modest. And then once the training wears off, because you have to retrain these dogs every 72 hours. So again, it doesn't work. It just keeps you needing these constant dopamine hits. So I mentioned Anne Lembke before. So look at what she says in the end here. To Lembke, the greatest danger of smartphones isn't impaired attention or behavioral addiction, but the devices keep us from being fully present for the people around us. This is exactly the same thing with dog owners. They are too busy screwing around with their out of control dog, too busy focusing on their dog, like all of these husky channels where they force the husky dogs into the beds of their wives and husbands and little kids. They can't be friends to their fellow human because they're too busy spoiling a freaking dog. You see this all over our society nowadays. Lembke says, whether it's a meal or a meeting or with your children, I think there is a slow erosion of human connection. Yes, this dopamine addiction of your phone creates an erosion of human connection. And dog culture is part of this in two ways. One way, people are constantly using their phone to engage in this virtue signaling, victim play, look at me, I have a dog, even when it doesn't even matter, posting their stuff up all over about dogs, fighting with people that don't agree that their dog is the best dog. And then the other way is, even if they don't use the phone, they are constantly getting their dopamine hits from their dog. They got to go home, their dog is there, oh, my dog loves me, oh, my dog's waiting for me, oh yeah, my dog did start a little fire in the kitchen and he did chew the couch up, but he loves me, oh my goodness, and he's been waiting for me, he's my best friend. They're getting all of their dopamine hits from dogs and not their fellow humans. So, hope you guys liked this kind of long video. If you want to learn more about this, look at the head forward posture of dog ownerships. Look at how that affects the vagus nerve and the oxygen to the brain. Look at how that affects dopamine and how it affects the prefrontal cortex. And you're going to have a crazy eye-opening about what's going on with these dog owners. And it is nothing good at all. And it's very bad for our human brains, our prefrontal cortex. And like Lembke said, it's bad for our human connection.